The CDC has put out guidelines for celebrating Thanksgiving safely. Among the recommendations, enjoy your feast outside, and if you're hosting, tell guests to bring their own food and forks. The CDC putting out a sketch of what that might look like. A bunch of people bundled up in the cold, huddled around a fire, all wearing masks and standing far apart. Hardly the image that usually comes to mind for a happy Thanksgiving. Dave Rubin is the host of the Rubin Report. Dave, good to see you. I want to put the rest of those CDC guidelines up on the screen because they're worth looking at. It says bring your own food, drinks, plates, cups, and utensils. Wear a mask and safely store your mask while eating and drinking. Avoid going in and out of the areas where food is being prepared. Use single-use options and disposable items like condiment packets and plates. Your thoughts on 3 families showing up with 3 turkeys in some cases, Dave?
You know, Thanksgiving, which is literally the most American holiday there is, which is about being thankful for the freedom that we have and all of the goodness that this country has given to us, is about exercising your freedom. That's the purpose of the holiday. And the idea that the CDC wants people that you're living in the Northeast in the winter to stand outside and you should have masks inside and people are bringing their own cutlery and utensils and all these things. First off, they know that virtually no one's going to do it. But it's sort of this ever-encroaching move to see what they can force us or at least trick us into doing in our own homes, which in many ways is the most anti-American thing possible. That's not to diminish COVID, but COVID is a disease with a 97 to 99.5% recovery rate. And now we have these vaccines that are going to say, you know, that are going to take care of 95% of people on top of that. So, you know, in this case, I'm one of the people that's just more on the freedom side of this. You should do what you think is right. But I guarantee you that Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, and Newsom, my governor here in California, and Cuomo in New York, they ain't going to be doing any of these things at their parties. I guarantee you they won't.
No, Newsom might be at the French Laundry. You know, you talk about the weather being cold in the Northeast. I think it's 39 degrees is the high there today, Dave. And, you know, it's interesting because some of the regulations we put up on the screen from the CDC are even tougher in New York State by Governor Cuomo. And one of the sheriffs in Fulton County, New York, had this to say about enforcement. Watch.
In this particular case, when we go into somebody, when you try to authorize by executive order that we can come into somebody's house, count the people, and take some sort of action, that remedy is greater than the wrong of having people gather.
Yeah, remedy greater than the wrong. Your thoughts?
God bless that guy. That is absolutely right. And by the way, that's the way we fight back against these authoritarian rules, is by good people who are in law enforcement, private citizens, just saying enough is enough. Just because the powers that be tell us we can't have family in our homes during Thanksgiving and we have to do all of these things doesn't mean that they have some God-given right to make it be. And when we step up and say, hey, we'll take care of our families accordingly, and if you're a store owner and you want to say, hey, you have to have a mask in my store, but you can do what you want outside, that's called personal responsibility. That's the building block of America, which again is exactly what we're supposed to be celebrating on Thanksgiving.
You know what I found fascinating is the Wall Street Journal had a story yesterday talking about the fact that we still don't know where people are getting sick. 5% maybe from restaurants, 10% from travel, up to 50 to 75%. They have no idea how people are getting the disease, and yet we have all these various mandates that are just kind of throwing spaghetti against the wall. Your final thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, well, that's an absolutely great point. What a responsible government would be doing is saying, hey, when we've done these specific things, then we see certain numbers change, but we don't really see that. They basically just say, oh, we go from one crisis and one set of rules to another crisis. Let's not forget March, 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and we're basically at the end of 2020 right now. That's 9 months, and do you sense they are going to let this thing end? Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, final note, we should, you know, Florida has none of these mandates, or very few of these mandates, and they're not doing well as far as COVID goes, but Illinois, Wisconsin, other states that have severe mandates, you know, doing worse than Florida. Dave Rubin, it's always good to see you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about politics instead of nonstop yelling, check out our politics playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, watch our full episode playlist all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.